I'm going to piss a lot of you guys off with this video, but before I do that, go to www.lion-dads.com. I got a link down in the description to get started losing weight with the carnivore diet. I got a PDF in there that'll give you everything you need to know to get started on a carnivore diet. It's absolutely free. It's got a shopping list included. There's a link, like I said, down in the description. So do that. Go to www.lion-dads.com right now. Get your free PDF and get started losing weight and taking back your health and fitness today. So going into this video, what I wanted to talk about with you guys is the fact that so many of you have an idea in your head of how much, and it is myself included, I'm kind of the same way. I was the same way when I started out. But we have an idea in our head about how much body fat we're actually carrying versus how much muscle we actually have, right? And so we think, that we have a certain amount of weight to lose, and once we get there, everything will be fine. And what I found throughout my journey and helping other people on theirs is we're typically always wrong. We always think we only have a certain amount. We kind of underestimate how much fat we're actually carrying, and we overestimate how much muscle we actually have, lean muscle tissue. And it's usually you get to that certain point and we get shocked, we get disappointed, we get upset. You think I'll get to X weight and I'll be good. And when you get there, you see that you still have a long way to go, and it discourages a hell of a lot of people. You know what I mean? It makes a lot of people kind of upset, and it causes, actually does this reverse effect where instead of going pushing yourself further, you just kind of give up. You think, I'm never going to get there. I've made it all this way, and they quit. That's something I've seen with a lot of people. May have gone through it myself. So I'll go give it my background, my perspective on it from my personal journey. So like I said, my heaviest, I was about 285 pounds. Bigger frame guy. I'm about 6'2 and a half, almost 6'3. And I carry my weight well. So when I look at myself in the mirror, like 285 on me, I still looked fat as hell. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? I still looked awful and felt terrible and everything like that. I was a fat guy. But I would think of somebody else's 285 and be like, I'm carrying it better than everybody. It's not that bad. And I'd tell people how much I weighed, and they'd be like, oh my God, that you don't look like it. You know what I mean? So I just kind of carried it very well. Like I said, still was fat, still was horrendously out of shape. Looked awful. Not proud of myself, not happy at all, but it is what it is. And I always had a thought in my head, like, if I can just lose like 60 pounds, I've only got like 60 pounds of fat on me. If I can just lose like 60 pounds, get down to 225 is probably a good weight for my size. Being a bigger guy, I'm a big guy. That's what I would always say. You know what I mean? I'm a big guy. So 225, I'll be pretty cut, pretty jacked and all that stuff. And I would always get down to 225, and it's disappointing. It was disappointing. I'm 220 right now as I'm sitting here, still moving, still pushing and trying to get to a certain point. And I still have a long way to go, even breaking under 225. It sucks when you get down to that goal weight. We all start out with this weight in mind. Like I said, for me, it was 225. Another common one I see with a lot of people is like 180. It's always these even kind of multiples of 20 that people always want to get to. I don't know if there's like some kind of psychological thing about that or something, but 220, 200, 180, 160. It seems like these multiples of 20 people always have. That's what they always automatically kind of throw out at you. And so I get down to 225, and it's like, man, I'm still not there, and honestly, doing the eyeball test, I still, had no clue how much body fat I actually have to lose. When I get there, it's like, well, okay, I'm still got some body fat. I'm still carrying some. I'm carrying some right now, more than I'd like, and I'm still going. So then you kind of have to sit and reassess, like, what do I do now? And what I would always end up doing is think, I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to stay at 220, 225, try to just eat however much I want and see if I can just, put on lean mass and burn fat at the same time at this weight. This is my mentality used to be. And I'd always sit there and then I'd go back to what, a maintenance type calorie, which if you follow the carnivore diet advice of a lot of people, it's just basically eat till you're satiated and do all that stuff and then you'll be fine. And I'm a pretty strict carnivore. I don't do a lot of, definitely not a lot of cheating, a lot of snacking and things like that, but I can put some food down. Like I said, bigger framed guy, pretty active. I got a 3-year-old that I'm chasing around. I got a couple, older boys. One of them's going on to be a college football player in the fall. So training with him, I work out regularly and all that. I thought, by eating pretty much however much I want on a carnivore diet, staying active and all that, I probably won't gain weight. And, it's true for a little bit. I'll hang out at 220, 225 for a while. And then I'll get bored and I'll start like, well, I'm going to I want to put some, muscle on. I want to put some size back on my frame, whatever it may be. And end up, kind of going into a bulk and gaining some weight. And that's what I did last year. Got myself back up to 245. I can eat a ton of food. I can pretty much just not even think about it on a carnivore diet, eat as much as I want, and I'll sit around 245. And I can't really gain weight past that. I can't eat enough to push me past that point. I kind of sat there for a good long time. And I recently decided to start cutting again and started throwing in some different things. And I was like, all right, well, we'll get back down to 225 and reassess. You know what I mean? I know I've definitely put some muscle on. 225, 220 now looks a lot better than it did, several years ago a couple of years ago when I got down. And, over the last couple of years, I've gotten down there and back up a couple times. All through controlled methods and me trying to actually see how my body works this way and how I can lose weight, how I can gain weight, how hard I can push myself in gaining, and now how far I can push myself in cutting, right? So I definitely see that there was the bulk I did, the putting the weight back on. I hate calling it a bulk, but it is what it is. Trying to put some weight back on. I did put a lot of body fat back on, but I did actually gain quite a bit of muscle because looking at what I look right now at 220 or into the 2 teens, is a hell of a lot better than it was the last time I did it. And so my plan now is I'm going to keep going, and I want to hit the next milestone. So I'm giving myself like these 20-pound milestones where I'll get there and then kind of gauge and see. I'm going to keep going past that milestone. I'm not going to get to that milestone and sit there, but then kind of like, okay, do I need to make any kind of adjustments with the way I'm doing this? I'm doing some different fasting methodologies and things right now to kind of, can I maybe slow it down a little bit? Because I'm losing weight, I'm doing alternate day fasting right now. I pretty much one day eat a ton of food. I'm eating, 4,000 to 4,500 calories in one day, and then the next day just kind of sitting there. Well, maybe even more than that. I'm not really tracking or anything like that, just from, years of experience. But I'll get down. Do I need to slow this down when I get down to 200 or under? Do I need to slow this thing down? Do I need to kind of, peel back on the fasting and maybe lose weight at a slower pace? We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Because my thing I really want to do, and it shouldn't be a problem because I'm eating tons of protein, plenty of protein, carnivore diet, lifting weights, doing all that. I know I'm not sacrificing very much muscle at all. My strength is going up. Everything's, staying the way it should. I'm really pleased with the results from a muscle standpoint. I'm just losing a lot of fat, I can tell. But when I get to a point where I'm at a certain weight, do I really need to be as aggressive in my cut as what I am right now? Excuse me. But so what I'm starting to realize now is, and what I've realized with people in the past trying to get people, and my experience is really taking in super heavy set people people that need to lose a lot of weight just to get themselves healthy again. Dads who were like me, like pushing that 300-pound range or whatever it was relative to their height, where they have an uncomfortable amount of body fat, and getting them down just to like a healthier, more active and fit level. I'm not really an expert on helping people shred and things like that, because I've just never, I've never really got super duper diced on my diet. It's not anything that I really pushed myself to in the past. I just wanted to get to myself where I could find health and maintain it. And so now I'm really trying to push the boundaries on everything and get like into the best shape of my life, better than what I was like in my 20s, or late, my early mid 20s. So what I've come to realize in this is that we have a hell of a lot more body fat on us typically than what we actually think we do. We're terrible at judging how much body fat we're carrying. Just like I tell you guys, you are terrible at eyeballing how much food you're eating. Humans, we're survival minded. You know what I mean? We think in terms of survival, so we always overshoot how much we actually think we're doing something. We think we're running enough or lifting enough to build a lot of muscle. Most typically, we're not. We think we're eating enough or even less than what we actually are. We think we're carrying a lot more muscle than we do. We think we're carrying a lot less body fat than we actually are. It's kind of just the way we're designed, the way we're built, the way our minds work. So I'm starting to realize, and what I've kind of known this for a long time now, but what I'm seeing it in myself is, I'm hitting my milestones, I'm hitting my, 20-pound increments that I'm trying to lose, and realizing that I still have a long way to go. So what I'm realizing is, if your goal is to get really, really cut, best shape of your life, shredded, whatever you want to call it, you're probably not going to be comfortable with the number you're going to have to see on a scale, right? There's a lot of pride, and speaking from a big guy standpoint, there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of ego in that. I'm a big dude, I'm a bigger guy. Like guys will tell you they're a bigger guy or whatever, and they wear it with like a badge of honor. It's like, yeah, I'm a big guy. You know what I mean? I can. Yeah. And, you don't think of like 180 or 170 pounds as big guy weight, right? So, but if you really, really, for a lot of you, are looking at it as, okay, I have to lose all my fat and get to, 10% body fat or whatever it is, a healthy level of body fat. I'm not trying to get under like 12 to 10%. I want to stay at a healthy level. I'm not like a bodybuilder's, competing on a stage guy or anything like that. Like, I don't care about getting, absolutely, fitness model shredded or anything like that, because they take themselves to some unhealthy, hormonal levels and things like that. And they're doing weird, crazy stuff to, dehydrate themselves. And I'm not doing that. That's not as far as I'm taking this. I just want to get to the healthiest possible level, 10% that I can be at, just to kind of see how things are going. And, I'm mentally in a place where I'm ready to accept that whatever weight I have to be at to get to that level is the weight I have to be at. Probably somewhere I haven't been in years and years and years and years and years. Maybe since high school. Who knows? I don't know what that number is yet, because I haven't gotten there yet. But that's what I'm working toward. And it's kind of a freeing thing once you can kind of say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get there. And then I think one of the benefits of that is going to be when you get to that level where you can see everything, you can see all the muscle and stuff like that, and you can actually tell, how you look without all the body fat on you. Then you have an idea of, okay, these are some things I need to work on. These are some areas that I've neglected. Maybe I'm underdeveloped compared to other parts of me. Maybe I need to, work a little more here. And then I think it's probably a hell of a lot easier to build lean mass on top of lean mass, right? once you get to that level and you can start building your way back up slowly, which is what I'll do, you can see everything you're doing a little better. I'm not going to be putting fat back on rapidly as I try to gain my weight back up and try to get to a level where I'm increasing muscle mass, putting on minimal fat. Anytime you gain weight, you're going to put on body fat, and depending on how fast you want to bulk, depends on how much and how fast you're going to put on body fat, because you're going to put on fat a hell of a lot faster than you're going to put on lean muscle mass. It's just, especially when you're the dad age, you're in your late 30s, 40s, into your 50s and stuff, unless you get on some kind of enhancement or something like that. The muscle just doesn't come on as fast as it did when you first started working out, when you were in your late teens, early 20s, or whenever that was. Those newbie gains, right? That's what they call them. But that's kind of what my plan is, and that's what I kind of encourage a lot of you guys to do. That's kind of the actionable advice that I have, depending on where you're at. Like, if you're a super obese person, if you're really fat, if you're, carrying 30 plus percent body fat, things like that, I would encourage you first, just do what you can to get to a healthy level. Just get yourself to a point where you're just not killing yourself and feeling terrible all the time and looking absolutely awful with clothes on, whatever. And then you can kind of sit and reassess and be like, what would I like to do? Do I like this? Do I just want to sit here? Is this good enough for me? I'm healthy, I'm active and doing what I want to do. Or do I want to get all the way down and, see where I'm at from a body fat standpoint and see what, 10% body fat looks like on me, whatever it is. And you can kind of just go from there and make adjustments from there and set goals, try different methods, try to do different things to get yourself shredded or whatever it is. And maybe, if you need to hire somebody to help you along the way, you can always do that, whether it's me or somebody else. But these are things you can do. These are strategies you can employ to kind of get yourself down to the level that you want to be, because that's really what's most important. Think about where you actually want to be, what you actually want to look and feel like, how healthy, how do you actually want to live your life, and then get to that level. Work hard to get to that level, but accept that you're probably wrong about what that looks like or how hard it's going to be to get there. You're probably wrong about how much body fat you actually have versus how much muscle you actually have. And just do the work. Do the work to get there. Be happy with the results when you get there, but don't be satisfied. You don't ever have to be satisfied. You can always get down to that level. See, I need to do some work here. I need to clean this up. I need to fix this up. I need to put a little more emphasis. Maybe like my thing that I'm starting to see is like, my front shoulders, which they're fine, but I could use a little more development on them. Things like that, you know what I mean? And you can kind of put more emphasis there. So that's all I'm going to have for you guys today. Let me know, where you guys are at in your journey, how far you want to go. Like I said, go to www.lion-dads.com, link down in the description, get that free PDF, get started losing weight on your carnivore diet, get your shopping list, throw out all the trash, processed crap in your fridge, in your pantry, stock it up with awesome carnivore diet products that are going to get you fit, get you healthy, get you back in shape, help you lose fat, help you build muscle, get all that protein in, healthy fats, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.